Hello, everyone. Welcome back. It's been a long-awaited start here for Spring 2020 League of Legends in PSU LCS. Got our first match of the split tonight. I'm Infamous Trash, joined here tonight by
Vale.
And Bobby 4. We're going with that name. Yeah.
All right, Bobby 4. Awesome. And our first match of the entire split going to be IZone Fangirls taking on Sandband, two of these newly formed teams within the spring split after the fall restrictions are completely thrown off, and we're already well on our way in draft, so I'll switch us over here in just a second.
These bands are interesting. I was looking at some of the players, and Lights Out has been playing a lot of Twisted Fates. That does make sense as a band. Can affect the map a lot, and can solo win the game if you're good enough on it. And then the Senna ban on blue side is a little confusing to me, meaning that Lil Brain likely does not play Senna, even though she was nerfed just this morning, I think.
Oh, there we go.
I was going to say, they didn't ban Aphelios on red side. That's kind of
The
unfortunate.
Aphelios will be picked. Usually what you should do is, if the blue side bans one Senna or Aphelios, you should also ban it, because you're going to be at a disadvantage automatically. Because if not, you are just going to get screwed in the bot lane. I'm thinking jungler here, maybe, support. Oh, okay, Vayne. That's, Alright, we like to see the diversity of
Vayne still
You
can
can
be
say what you're thinking.
can be a strong pick into the right compositions, though. Kind of surprising to see.
Yeah,
it
I don't
taken
know about
that
picking it
early.
this early. Yeah. ADC
Echo
first.
is a good pick here. Since Olaf is banned, that was likely what they planned from the start.
He's one of our
See,
upper tier junglers.
I think I'm gonna see a Lee Sin or Rek'Sai here from green. That's what I would expect into an Echo. Something strong that can abuse Echo's weak early game. Oh, the Soraka, okay. It's likely gonna go top, maybe? Hopefully we'll see that. That's very,
I would expect to see it top, especially judging from its recent appearances in LCS and LEC. Over the past week, you've been watching Pro, but could still go support, theoretically. Not exactly
Yeah,
as
there's
meta
the
as
Rek'Sai
Leona
that I
or
was thinking
Nautilus, but
yeah, the Rek'Sai, as I said, strong early game that can abuse Echo's weak early game. Although Echo does outscale most junglers in the game because of his very balanced kit.
absolutely, totally not in need of any nerfs whatsoever.
He got a little baby nerf. Could do something. We'll see.
Okay.
The patch
So
did just go through.
It
right?
is 10.3. We are running on patch 10.3, so all the nerfs are out. Akali has finally found her grave.
Akali is gone, Crab Rave.
Thank God.
Akali's gone. Felios seeing some minor nerfs. The Senna ADC seeing nerfs with its souls. Drop rate is now lowered by own minion kills, increased for ally minion kills, I think. I think that's what they did to it.
Yeah.
All
It's
right.
no longer guaranteed souls on most minions, I think it is.
Yeah. Alright. So, would the Vayne, you'd say, be like something that you could possibly play into a Felios that would replace the Senna? Because Senna is that hyper-scaling ADC, not a lot of wave clear, but can definitely burst opponents down, as well as providing a large amount of
I
support.
wouldn't say so, because Vayne's laning phase is extremely weak, and Aphelios has one of the best, if not the best, laning phases in the game. And he outranges her quite a bit too. So yeah. But if Vayne does survive through the laning phase, it should be okay, because Vayne scaling does really well. I think for this, we'll see what this last ban is, but I think I'm gonna like to see blue side if they want the Soraka top. Maybe pick a Braum here.
Braum, Nautilus is
Yeah.
also still available. Still
Yeah.
extraordinarily
I think
strong.
yeah, Nautilus in color plays a lot of Nautilus. That's basically what he played for the entirety of fall, I think.
And
Ooh, but that's a yeah.
so a takeaway here would probably be preferable, but Morgana's still not going to be a bad pick with the Black Shield, with the
Yeah.
Dark Binding. And that will be locked in.
expect the Nautilus, but if they don't, they could go for like a caster. Casters are like Zyra and Brand are extremely strong against Morgana.
Indeed, something that nullifies the black shield, just cuts through its any type of spell protection it gives you before you actually decide to throw out some CC.
Here, the Karma is a strong. If that's going mid, it's a strong blind pick because it doesn't have too many bad matchups.
Very much so. Still could also be going support.
Yeah, we still don't know yet.
Shield was buffed, I believe, what, on 10-1, 10-2?
Yeah,
was
very
Shield buffed?
recently. She did get buffs.
But Ryze would make more sense in the mid lane than support, so that will be locked in. Karma's still also able to go top as well, so Soraka Karma flex.
They play very similarly. But Karma's laning is a little stronger, I think. But yeah, the Orianna into Ryze is actually a really strong matchup. I like that from Sand.
Yeah.
Sandbend. So
Sakura Wars
I've
fanboy,
played-
previously Altar of Orleans.
yeah, I like the Orianna pick
Yeah.
because it can outrange the Ryze and bully him when he's weak early.
So it will be for Sandban. We're looking at Jax top, Echo jungle, Orianna mid, Vayne, and Morgana in the bottom lane. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm seeing where the lane matchups are. I can see where they can generate some early pressure, but where do you guys see this comp going once we hit mid and possibly even late game into the match? Because there's no wombo combo here. They're not strictly looking to team fight. I mean, a 1-4 is certainly possible.
Yeah. So what I'm looking at here is green to affect the mid lane because Ryze has extremely good gank setup. Good gank setup in all three lanes. All lanes are gankable pretty much, especially mid, because the mid is taking TP instead of like cleanse or ghost or something like that. So if you get Ryze ahead, he will be able to outmatch a Jax for sure. And then the Karma will likely just have a strong laning phase, but she won't outscale the Jax, which will be the issue there. But I think the bot lane, like Aphelios with any caster or like enchanter support is quite strong actually, because of his extremely overloaded kit and how he can do everything if he just has like a shield and some heals. It's extremely oppressive from my own experience, especially against a Vayne Morgana, not the strongest of bot lanes.
And really I understand he was nerfed on this patch, but a lot of that boiling down to just the unlimited range removed from Calibro.
Yeah.
So nothing super bad for laning phase. You're not really going to need that extra one-shot you in fountain mentality. But interesting in the Soraka flex pick, I think, if we're looking at izone fangirls, to me at least, was a very good draft decision, picking that in the first round, maybe trying to throw Sandban off their draft strat a bit.
Yeah, I think it was a smart strategy.
And that's something I hope to see more of in spring. I understand fall you had a very large variety of players who really, for most teams outside of that top 4 we saw in the semifinals and finals, not doing a whole lot of practicing together, not really having a whole lot of experience with draft strategies. And in spring now, when all of those restrictions are holds bar off, these teams, for the most part, especially when you look at the upper bracket of players who are averaging with their team's diamond, I'm looking forward to see drafts be a bit more coordinated, a bit more, how would one say, someone help me out here, I'm forgetting
You want
words.
to say it's like cohesive, right?
Yeah, it's
Less just like
cohesive,
random
yeah.
solo queue champs.
Less random solo queue champs, deeper champion pools, more of a strategy to the composition, and not just what can you play.
And just better teamwork, right? Because these people like know each other now. You're not just playing with like maybe one other person, you know?
These are organized
be really-
teams. These aren't just randos who got drafted together.
Yeah.
As horrible as that
Looking-
sounds.
I mean, yeah, that's exactly what it is, though.
Yeah, looking at my team from last semester is literally just, did we
All
get
right,
Yasuo
Tyler,
or
don't say
Veigar?
nothing, all right?
Did we get Yasuo or Veigar? Yes, win. But now it'll be, should be a
Yeah,
lot
I'm also
better.
really interested to see what this Rek'Sai is going to do with mid and bot, because I think he can leave the Karma relatively alone top and she'll make it through. Because that's just how she is. And if you can get a Felios or Rise ahead, it's going to be like really big for their team.
Interested to see what Keystone Green will take here. Because people have been, instead of taking Hail of Blades, they've been taking
Nope, he took
Conqueror.
Hail Blades.
Yep, it is Halo Blades.
Pretty standard.
Conqueror is still very good.
Conqueror Rise, not as strong as it used to be, but can still work. I personally prefer Phase Rush because you can avoid ganks much more easily.
Halo Blades didn't get nerfed this patch, did it? I don't think it did.
I don't
think
believe
so. I didn't hear anything about that at least.
Oh.
I did not believe it did. Maybe that was a few patches ago, or maybe it's... we have people in the chat saying there might be some nerfs to it at some point. I'm not sure the validity of that.
Yeah, I'm not either. I don't usually use Hail Blades much anyway, so.
Yeah, it's very exclusive
Just
to
like
a
a
few
niche
champions. Yeah.
Like Xin Zhao, Rek'Sai.
Xin
Xin
Zhao,
Zhao goes
Rek'Sai.
Conqueror now though, so it's like.
Everyone goes Conquer, and for
Yeah,
good
right.
reason.
Yeah.
It's the longest custom loading window I think we've ever had, but I
Hey
mean,
man, no flame, no flame.
no, it's someone's playing on their smart fridge. It's fine. But one thing that is going to be nice to look at, because personally I have not played many games on the new patch 10.3, only like one. So I'd be very curious to see how, and assuming no one else really has because it came out this afternoon, how these junglers adapt to all the XP changes that came through in 10.3. Because there were a lot. There were a lot of XP changes in 10.3 for the jungle camps.
Yeah, I played a few, but they were all mid lane, so I'm not entirely sure on that.
I don't think it'll matter much for a Rek'Sai. I think it's going to be more oriented towards the Echo who actually cares to clear Krugs. But if I'm playing like Lee Sin and stuff, I don't really give a dang about those other camps that got buffed, so.
Yep.
Playstyle would remain
Also,
relatively the same, I
unironically,
believe.
kind of nerfed Ivern on Krugs. Let's get
Oh
it.
yeah, that's so sad.
Let's get it. Ivern nerfed.
For
Alright.
Bulby especially. Our in-house Ivern
Not
one trick.
direct- Oh, whoops, we're not direct to camera.
Welcome
There
to
we go.
Summoner's Rift.
So, pretty standard stuff here coming out from Sandban.
5
I like
point.
the 5 point.
30
So,
seconds until minions
Izone is a
spawn.
little less coordinated, it appears.
Karma's not sure where to go, I guess.
Neither of these
Yeah.
teams really do have that oppressive of a level 1. You don't have anything like a Braum to really get that passive tech early. Maybe a Morgana binding, so...
What I would like Sandban to do actually is to get a ward on maybe Green's Raptors, because Green will be dictating the early game pretty much with his Rek'Sai compared to the Echo.
Minions have spawned.
So if you can start tracking him early, it'll be extremely beneficial. Some early mana flow bans exchanged in the mid lane.
Doesn't look like they're gonna go for the early
Nope,
ward.
just will
But
get the stuff.
Izone does get the Raptor ward, so that will be really good for Green to be able to track where he is.
2Kim also posting a ward up there above.
And Green starting solo blue buff. What do you think of
That's
that?
interesting. They're like faking them out.
Yeah, definitely an unorthodox clear.
I would assume going for some sort of bot gank around level 3.
Standard route now, at least from what I can tell watching Pro League, would be the blue buff, red buff, or blue buff, Gromp, red to gank. In the words of Captain Flowers, it's PvP or at level 3. So
Yeah, that sounds pretty great for a Rek'Sai, especially when you go Hunter's Talisman. It's kind of really hard to clear Wolves and Raptors early on. So you just kind of skip them.
yeah. In terms of early action here, what are you guys looking at? Possible lanes of interest for these junglers, both starting on opposite sides of the map, possibly pathing towards opposite ends of a game.
I think the mid lane is super volatile because if either of those two champions get behind, they become extremely useless. And Rise has extremely good gank setup, but I think Izone's top and bot lane should be pretty self-sufficient, so I'd like to see Green try and focus a little around mid here.
W setup from the Rise always available for those ganks. Just a little bit of trading here going on in the mid lane, but otherwise very quiet game. Nothing just that going yet. Junglers finally getting around to their final buffs, and then we might be able to see some action.
Yeah, there's not going to be a scuttle fight because they're just going to be on opposite side scuttles. There's nothing that's going to happen bot or mid right now because they're just shoved in, so it's probably honestly just going to be a reset for Rek'Sai.
I think, yeah. I'd like to see maybe green reset and then look for an early dragon, maybe.
Yeah, dragon changes at season 10 do let most junglers, I'll say, solo Drake after a reset.
Yeah, you can do
Some
that
even
pretty early.
beforehand.
Alright, yeah, he's just going to finish his Krugs in back. Echo might gang top after that, actually. He didn't even take scuttle yet, though, so interesting.
Yeah, I think he's assuming that green started red side, so he's not contesting it.
Right. Which just kind of leads back to their lack of vision at the start of the game.
Yeah. Yeah, Aphelios in the bot lane still being very
Passive as
fun to
ever.
lane again.
That's just how it rides. Most of these teams do have a fair amount of scaling options between the rides, which could easily solo carry an entire team once he gets to his late game state and Vayne, Orianna, Jax. So I don't see any of these teams, with the exception of maybe Green, looking for anything super early initiative, and Tukim, just based on champions who good early, spike mid, and then kind of just trail off pretty hard in the case of Rek'Sai especially.
Yeah, I think if Rise gets ahead here, it'll just be unstoppable on a side lane, because if the top lane goes like we predicted, where Tukim is getting an early lead, it should cascade for the blue side. But then again, they do have an Echo and a Vayne, so we could get some huge scaling out here, along with the Ori
Both
wave.
sides have their options.
No early dragon for Green. Sedge is going to head on over to Toontown's Raptors and steal those away. Not exactly the most worthwhile camp anymore, but whatever he can deny might as well.
He did double scuttle him, so that is something to keep in mind.
True, is creating a level advantage now. Toontown only level 4 to Green's level 5, and we'll spot him out with that one sad little raptor left in the pit.
Still not much going on for the Rek'Sai though, which is kind of bad for their early.
Yeah. I would maybe like to see a bot or mid play into a dragon.
Bot,
You know, Echo's around top side right now.
bot currently looking to shove out, might be going for a reset here.
Bot's gonna back right now.
Yeah.
So I think if they know that, Green can just solo dragon. They know Echo
Oh,
was
so
top
fighting
side.
top lane. Jumping for the Sun, Zentrip gonna trade some damage, but Tukim able to trade back
This
very
could be
effectively.
Nope.
It could be a solo kill here.
Way
We'll
back.
go
His
for
minion
it
wave
just
is very
yet.
large.
And Green can't go for Dragon without a pink or a red trinket right now.
And that minion wave is really big. Oh, Chukim's gonna take a lot of damage trying to freeze this. Well, give up on it.
Still has 2 potions and a biscuit in inventory to soak up some of that. Both those top laners
Your team
taking
just got
biscuits
some
for
really
the...
deep vision.
Holy. Alright, so
Yeah,
the
that's
entirety of Sandband has biscuits, by the way.
Oh yeah?
The entirety of Sandband
Alright.
loves their pastries in the evening, apparently.
Delicious.
Indeed. Now, my question, we talked about earlier with, like, teams in Spring, maybe we're expecting them to perform at a little bit of a higher level, especially those with a higher average rank. I say that just as Gank going in Green, going to come into lane, and both flashes burned on the mid laners. Lights out, I guess, trying to get that
Yeah.
root in place, but is unable to. A good flash out from Soccer Wars just to dodge out of
That
that.
does create pressure though, because Green can then invade the blue buff here since Orianna is flashless.
We might see a fight down here in the
Yep.
bot jungle.
4 here on
Those
the
top laners also have TT, so
Based on blue buff, is spotted
Looks
out by
like
the
they're just
Control Ward. Green going to secure another camp stolen. But with Scuttle Crab up, I believe he won't
It
be able
is.
to. Yeah, believe he won't be able to do Dragon just yet.
We are seeing CS lead develop on the bot lane though due to Aphelios' laning phase.
Yep, and now we have the repeat technique. Free gonna go for the flash, unburrow, root comes in, the shockwave gonna buy a little bit of time. Soccer Warriors trying to kite it out. But the last one will come in as well as the Rek'Sai ulti. And first blood over to izone.
They could definitely transition to some sort of objective there, like Herald or especially Herald since Jax just showed mid here. But he's gonna go for the red buff, it looks like. Smart, trying to deny Echo's
really
buff.
Early Herald's
Rek'Sai
also
think
very good right now in terms of snowballing early leads, getting that earth-hitting gold, flat damage. Very nice to have when trying to take those down. Although the slaps, now Nuke gonna be found out. Coming from Karma, flashing away immediately. Now trying to find the Unburrow, will not. And now it's a kill over to Zenchuk. Zenchuk still going on, lights out, trying to do it again. He'll get some wish, but it's just barely enough. Two Town going to manage to E over and secure that. Now it's Green trying to run back to the lid, trying to kite it out. Jax though has those extra move abilities, will be able to burrow out in the end. And that's a lot of gold going back over to Sandman.
Yeah, very unfortunate there. They developed a nice little early lead there, but I guess they were a little overzealous and didn't underestimate, or didn't understand the amount of damage that Jax and Echo can put out this early. Bot lane still
Fun
having a good time.
for Vayne Morgana.
Yeah.
Almost a
Infernum
30 CS lead now for Aphelios.
Extremely sizable CS lead at the moment.
Infernum for the Aphelios as well as Caliber for poke damage is a pretty lethal combination. Oh, going to throw out the Moonlight Vigil immediately burns the heal from I Cut for Jesus.
And Vayne will go very low. Have to back off.
That's a back.
Yeah, what a great champion.
This is the nerf version, by the way.
Vayne was just sitting
Nerf.
under tower
2
and
patches
couldn't
in a
do
row,
anything.
by the way.
Oh man.
Still now coming into the 10-minute mark. Fairly sizable lead over to the side of izone Fangirls. About 1,000 gold lead. 1,100. And a lot of that probably coming from the bot lane with this Aphelios. Yeah, full
They're just
1,000
going
gold.
for the Herald right now. I'm surprised they aren't going for Dragon.
Full 1,000 gold lead in that on that
Looks like
Aphelios
Echo
spot.
is doing-
Holy moly.
No, Echo's thinking about it, but they
They
just don't have enough
they don't
vision,
really
I guess.
have the information there.
Yeah, should be an early rift. Baron spawn, yep, that means second rift will spawn about 3 minutes before Baron.
Yeah, plenty of time to get the second one and do some real damage to a team.
No vision on the Rek'Sai top. Say, Toontown might have been able to try to go on that Drake there, but will be looking for a game spin. Lights out, going to get the hit on a Soccer Boy, going about a half out. Shockwave going to dunk him as well. Green secures the kill. And now it's Toontown this time running for the hills. Will down for a will land and a double kill for Green. And now we have a 2,000 gold lead.
Like he's dropping the Herald mid. Try and drop the Herald mid here for some plates to give to Rise.
Might be able to get this first plate so you get the extra resistances blown by the Herald after cast, as it does just do flat damage.
They're gonna look to take a dragon here.
Yeah,
It should be pretty free. They don't have Echo Orion in position to stop it, even though they know they're on it.
not even close. And this
Especially
is,
with how much pressure this bot has. Vayne and Morgana just aren't leaving their turret.
so this is a, besides the one mishap near Red Buff, this is a very dominant early game for izone.
Red team's turret has been destroyed.
That's first turret too.
Yep. Maybe start moving the lanes around, creating pressure in other lanes.
Both objectives
Tried.
down though, not really too much emphasis to swap really. I feel.
I think what would be best is a 4-man dive bot, perhaps. Just take that tower since there's only 2 plates left.
Yeah, that would be definitely an option they could pursue. Rise with the Realm Ward to be able to maybe get the jump on them. Though they do have a lot of... Sandban is putting a lot of protective and defensive vision in that south side jungle. see the control ward over there on the blue buff, as well as a stealth ward in the tri-brush there.
It's like the izone bot lane will be going to top lane here for a little lane swap.
Still 4 minutes till that second Herald spawns, so time before next objective, not too much to take there other than the plating gold, which is still good to have if you're trying to snowball early leads, which is something this team definitely wants to do now.
Rise with the Rod of Ages, so he will be starting to stack up. Another interesting purchase coming from 2Kim, the GLP. When traditionally on Karma Top you'd see something like an Iceborne Gauntlet or maybe like a Spirit Visage.
Has been a trend more of late though to see these control mages go for more builds. Big color has
getting
to
caught
pop
out here.
wish. Relport though coming in, Lights Out gonna come up and flank Green also joining. We'll find the Burrow knows stopwatch gonna buy in just a second, and that's an auto attack. But yeah, Glacial being built more by control mages now and makes it easier to land skill shots because you can't dodge when you can't move.
It is much cheaper as well because
True.
it's something like 400 more gold and you only get like 10 more AP. It isn't even worth considering like an Amplifying Temp gives 20 AP and it's only 435 gold.
Yep. Very gold efficient item for a lot of payoff. And now Zentrip trying to go on a little bit. We'll chunk it down to about half the field coming out already. Now if he's caught in the trap, going to get hit by the Emperor. We'll make it out with the ultimate. Rex ulti going in. Little Brain gonna secure though with the Moonlight Vision. Now Green's diving too far. He's going under the tower. Will get healed by the Soraka. Toontown running in color secures it with the summon area as Soccer Wars manages to finally clean up the mess in top lane. And overall even trade 2 for 2. Actually, 2 Kim went down there, so 2 for 3 is now Little Brain fighting 2v1. Will flash away from the Dark Binding. And Rise takes mid turn.
Yeah, perhaps a little bit of overstaying here from izone, overestimating their lead. But then again, the solo laners are getting objectives. The mid tower and the bot tower were acquired during those fights. So we're up to a 5,000 gold lead now, which is quite sizable this early.
Yeah, 15 minutes and that's a little bit of a mountain to climb here. Not saying that Sandban's out of the game. You still have a bit of Vayne. You still have the Jax and the Orianna, which can really start putting out damage here once they get their core items in. Do have the Trinity Force already completed on Zentriv though in the top lane, so starting to feel a little bit better. Just overall.
Sukum getting a little low here. Perhaps go for some kind of play here, but he will back off. Something I want to point out right now in the item slots is every member of izone has 3 roll wards, while only 2 of Sand's band have roll wards, which is something that is admirable.
I would have to see the after game stacks. I'm not sure when the last time that I cut for Jesus is back. Fairly recently. He's only holding on to about 800 gold. So yeah, never mind. They have no excuse. All of them have been back very recently.
Yeah, they're just not buying control
Yeah,
words.
they're just not buying
And
control
I
words.
mean, I can kind of see it, I guess. If they think their gold can be better used just getting items to catch up for a fight, but...
Perhaps bot lane overstaying for this top tower a little because the dragon is spawning very soon.
Heartsoak Infernum ulti coming
This
out.
tower's
That's
gonna go
gonna be
down,
chucked as well.
They still have time to rotate down. No one's gonna start it.
They could just... I feel like Sand the band should just try for this dragon because they know that the bot lane was top. But,
They also,
and I
I
think
believe they
izone
had
was thinking
vision
that was going to
green.
happen too.
I mean, it comes back to they don't have vision, right? So they don't know if they can move up or not.
Yeah, it looks like izone was thinking that that would happen, that they would
Yeah.
take the dragon, but I guess it didn't. So it looks like they'll be able to maybe initiate a fight here and get the dragon.
Second Rift also acquired there by Green, while this bit of vision was cleared out by Sandband. And will be immediately reclaimed. And that should be a free Drake here. No one's really in position to contest. will have Ocean Rift.
That is extremely oppressive on Rise if he gets to that point. He will, with Conqueror and Taste of Blood and Ravenous Hunter, he will be unkillable without some sort of healing reduction. Especially with the Soraka being able to help out too.
Yeah, that is kind of this late game picture for izone. You have a Karma top, you have a Soraka. A lot of support can go into this Rise and Aphelios duo. That really you're not getting from just the Morgana on the side of Sandban.
Seeing pretty standard lanes develop here. I would like to see maybe Vayne in the mid lane instead, and then Orianna in the top lane since she does have TP. But whatever fits their fancy.
It would seem now one thing that's really going to be hard here for the side of Sandman to come back from is yes, they do have the hyperscaling in the Vayne, but that Vayne is also 2 levels down on Little Brain. It's a level 11 Aphelios, higher level than, or is equal in level to the Sandman mid laner. So no level advantage going to be existing here once Little Brain decides to get into a fight.
We'll be dropping the Herald to the bottom lane.
Yeah, that should just be bot tower completely gone. I wouldn't be surprised if they try to keep it for a second charge here. It was about 1,000 HP. Could go try to push it for a second
They can
charge
probably lead it in.
onto the inhibitor turret.
Oh, no,
Will not get there, no. Zentrin able to pop that one. And we do have 5 men for both teams here in this bottom quadrant up by the inhibitor turrets. Could look to see a fight here, although izone has no incentive to really force anything at this point in the game.
Yeah, izone should just send Rise or Rise bot maybe, or Karma bot to just match the Jax. And then look to pressure a Baron, or maybe bait it too, because they're so much stronger at this point.
Yeah,
And then
oh, I can
with
forget it. Checking in as we'll get the Black Shield, the spell immunity, and also pops the ulti. A little bit of a risky face check.
They do need the vision though, because if izone does get the Baron, the 1-3-1 from them would be extremely oppressive, considering how far ahead Rise and Karma are right now.
Very true, and if you're Sandman at this point, I mean, you're looking at a 6k gold deficit. It doesn't even matter if you can't see the actual gold score, you can see it in the item discrepancies by pressing tab. What is their route back to this game?
I think they should look for an engage whenever the 1-3-1 happens. Like, if they see Rise and Karma on opposite sides of the map, they should look for a hard engage with maybe the Echo going in onto with an Oriole or like a Morgana bind or something like that. Because the only way they're going to win a fight is if it's a huge numbers disadvantage. But they will need some vision for that, which is quite hard to acquire right now.
Indeed, it are looking to at least clear out their own side of the jungle, though, which is a start. You can see just how far up the vision line is here from the side of izone. There's stealth wards all the way back up, almost behind top tier 2 there in the north quadrant.
And the Ocean Dragon will be spawning in about 40 seconds here, so that is another objective that Sand could potentially look to deny.
And Zentriv's got to be careful here. He could very easily be collapsed as izone rotates down to secure this Drake. It is not soul yet, so realistically they don't have to contest.
I would honestly, at this point, consider maybe giving them soul and playing for Elder, because at this point, you can't really contest any of these dragons.
And
So,
even just stealing one individual Drake isn't going to give you that much advantage, especially if you all wipe for it. This individual stat bumps just aren't worth the cost of it.
Dragon will be secured though.
Yep, clean and easy, just like the other two.
I think getting some vision here, then Karma maybe going back to the ball lane to pressure that Jax to stay there, because he is one of their stronger members.
And at this point, I guess, if you're izone, you're just kind of pushing waves, farming up, waiting until you hit your Rise's late game power spike, and then seeing if you can find some kind of pick, find some fight to force around the Baron pit.
I would honestly like them. I would like to see them maybe force a Baron, because they have an extremely fast Baron.
True, yeah.
With the Rise and the Aphelios. So if they could do that, and then maybe peel off and get a nice engage.
And even with the
that would be,
Soraka too, you use so much sustain even after the Baron is started. You can just heal everyone back up for the turn. And they are clearing out the
Jax will
vision
be
quite
balling.
well. Currently right now is a Baron bait, except everyone's gonna go mid and possibly show themselves to collect wave
This
here.
is
They could just look for the fight here in the upper jungle.
yeah. They're just taking their sweet time, and I'm not entirely sure why. They might know something I don't know.
Like, they're definitely stronger than them 4v4. I
Yeah.
think they can pressure this really hard and force them away.
Yeah.
Especially with Vayne half-healthing herself off the Raptors.
2Kim and Zedge both have TPs up as well, so could see the full 5-man if something hits opposite the ring. Going on Toontown. 1Q doing about half his HP before he gets some healing back. And now Sandbad's been completely forced out of the top side. This should be an easy bait here for the side of izone as they go back around Baron. They're just getting started up at this point.
Yeah, this is what I was talking about. Especially if someone else starts to tankers, so the damage debuff is off of Rise.
They might not even contest. They just did spot Rek'Sai mid, so
No, they're not gonna have time to contest this.
no, it could be gone. That's a free Baron, pretty much.
I'd look for izone to just reset here and then get a nice 1-3-1 going, because your soul laners are both stronger than the others right now, so you'll eventually get some.
I mean, it's not a soul
Or maybe-
laners. ADC
Yeah.
is stronger than the soul laners, with the exception of maybe Zentriv. I'm fairly confident Little Brain at this point could 1v1 Sakura Wars on the Aphelios.
The other option is they could maybe 4-man just that 4-man that inner turret there, take that down.
Yeah,
But
find that
the
last one.
strength lies in the 1-3-1.
We'll just steal away jungle camps for the time being, as this is the kind of execution we were, I think, anticipating with the caliber of these players, is seeing some clean League of Legends. This has not been a bloodbath where 10 kills in 30 minutes. In that respect, it's been pretty controlled, but it's been mostly just izone slowly pulling this one further and further ahead, choking out. Very, what I guess you could call classic Korean League. The 40-minute.
There would be no kills if it was Korean League.
True. So we're a little bit hyphy,
Yeah.
but it's just a very slow burn. Which, if you're Sandband, is not necessarily a bad thing either. Yes, you're losing more and more resources around the map. Yes, you're getting further and further behind, but you still have those scaling options sitting in your back pocket that once you get to a certain item power spike, they can finally start coming online.
Yeah, something I like to point out here is how Orianna and Vayne now have 2 items, so they are threatening, to say the least, in extended fights because of Leandri's and the Quincy's ability to put out damage. So they could potentially just look to give this the soul and then play for an Elder fight for about 6 or 7 minutes here, when they're a little stronger.
Yeah, it doesn't look like they're even gonna go for a contest. They're just all backing away and farming, so.
One thing I am
yep.
a little disappointed about is
More men in the jungle here.
IZF.
Town is going to be spotted out. GLP caught by Soccer Force, trying to find some kind of fix, some kind of advantage, but we'll just go to the wayside with Karma's speed boost, and the Ocean Dragon will be started up and pretty much secured off the get-go.
Yeah, one thing that I'm a little disappointed to not see is the maybe just one person split pushing. Like the Rise is so far ahead at this point that no one in their mind could match him.
Yep.
So
There was
I would maybe just send him top lane.
practically nothing
Break that.
of significant value gained off the Baron buff. There were no towers felled. We could have seen someone try to push trip pressure that top lane, tier 2, maybe even an inhibitor turret somewhere on the line, but just kind of play the slow game.
I feel like it's at this point that blue side's gonna start trying to take the win here. I don't think they're gonna wait for the Elder and risk a fight over it. Now that they have soul, they can definitely just send Rise to a solo lane.
Dude, yeah, 7 point something K gold lead is just... if you're Sandban at this point, you're kind of waiting for someone to make the mistake, waiting for that crappy Elder Drake setup or something. You don't have a lot of the avenues. You gotta make those 70-30 or those 30-70 plays where it's probably not gonna work, but if you don't do it, there's no chance of you getting back into this.
Yep.
Yeah, that's another really good point. No one on the red side has grievous wounds yet for the Rise or Soraka.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
I mean, I know Merlin Opcon's a garbage item right now, but you need the grievous wounds. You need the grievous
Something,
wounds.
right? Like Vayne could buy it, Jax could buy it, the Executioner's calling.
Yeah.
They need something. Especially now that the whole team has Ocean buff, so.
Yeah, but I guess the red side's objective here is to just wait out, contest the Elder.
I mean,
That
it's
is the
working
best
out.
they can do.
The blue side's just playing like 4-man top right now instead of having someone just split mid.
Yeah, and honestly, if you want to have someone split push that you kind of have to send the Rise at this point, Zentriv, I think, is strong enough on the Jax to take 2K one-on-one as Toontown just gets chunked by Aphelios.
At Aphelios damage.
Yeah.
Like they're just.
That's one Q,
Rise and
one
Aphelios
Q.
are really ahead.
Chakra of Severum is such a disgusting combo. Now the engage comes in green, not gonna find the Burrow. Kaika for G is actually getting some good damage down. Shockblade will come out before the Zonia, so not too much damage except onto a very healthy in color. Green very close to paying the price for that one. Cut for G is definitely doing a bit of damage now. Dark Binding will find its way onto the Bellas, but the Moonlight Build is going down, and Toontown tries to find the engage and just gets deleted. And now it's Zentriv looking for 2K. Green gonna find the Umbrella though as the Rise ulti comes in. Lights out in the base, 4v1. Chunking Soccer Wars down, and that's going to be the inhibitor turret finally going down. Chakra doing so much work on these structures for Little Brain. And you have the wave starting to come up on mid turret, so it should just be transitioning down to mid now. Get this minute to,
Okay.
Alright, Little Brain.
Alright, maybe not.
This, I feel like they could reset here and just get Baron, I think. That would be the safest play.
Yeah, you're...
Because with Baron, you just are overwhelmed, especially because your Orianna wave clear is just doesn't do any damage to minions anymore. But it looks like Sandban will look to get some vision around the Baron before izone gets back from their reset, which is good.
Say, you do have an Echo on your team, so could look for some kind of miraculous steal. Is 2 levels down on the Rex side, so Toontown would have a heck of an uphill climb to try to make that one happen, but with the vision setup in Baron Pit, we could see him try to pull off something. Especially the Echo, you go in, try to steal it, and even if you don't get it, you just try to ult out before you get CC'd. And maybe go for that kind of play, because again, you're down this point so much at this point in the game. Look at that Karma shield.
And
Yeah.
they're back to full.
Yeah.
Yeah, Karma is building full support. Really.
Baron gonna be starting. This is an incredibly fast Baron, so if Toontown wants to get on this, he's gonna have to figured out. Is Zentrum actually getting on to Green, getting it chunked down, but that Ocean Dragon doing so much things. The Wish comes out, and he's just so healthy. He cannot die, goes unstoppable, goes back on the backline. Zentrum's gonna extend the kill, and now the fight restarts. iComfort is trying to do what he can, but the damage from this Rise is way too high. They just get deleted. Two times going back in, will find the stun, but doesn't have the HP bar to make it happen. Realm Warp gonna trap Sakura Wars up top. Dissonance going to buy him some time, but there's no tier 2 anymore to hide behind.
Two Kim TPing into the base here.
Yep.
Maybe a mistake.
Does blow Zentrum's flash, and should be able to claim the kill on Sakura Wars. Google not connected. Zentrum actually goes on in color, must flash out. Now lights out, trying to put out Zentrum. Is gonna chunk him extremely low, and this is just.
That's what we were talking about with
my.
the no Grievous win. The Rek'Sai takes far too long to die, so you just waste all your cooldowns on the front line. You can't do anything else to the other characters.
And what's even worse about this Ocean Soul is they're so far ahead. I mean, lights out. You can see the positioning failures, which should come out here on the side of
Elder is spawning
IZF,
though, so-
but they
I think
just
it's gonna be
slap
a
them with their
clean Elder.
wallets. They have so much gold, so much more gold.
They have to trade Baron if they want to get anything out of this.
Yeah, I don't know if they're gonna be able to. They meld this Elder way too quickly, and they're just not set up for it.
Yeah, just take the Raptors instead of the Baron.
Yes.
I say
A
they.
little toxic.
I don't know.
Sandman
At this
has-
point, it should be the end. With the Elder buff, it's honestly just going to be too much for them.
Yeah, the Rise will be able. Rise just completed Rylai's. It's
I mean, this is one way you get back into the game, I guess. The Fnatic Death
Oh.
Brush.
Interesting.
On the wrong side of the Baron Pit, which they're probably
They're
not
letting
going
the
to
Their
get
super
to.
base
minions
is
get into
getting-
their base.
Oh, we'll be spotted out by the
Whoa.
Rek'Sai.
Oh man.
I guess you have
The
to try
minions are
something.
about to start crashing. So
Yep, and there
Yeah,
is
that was
hope is
like a
waning.
1090.
it was an attempt.
That was like a 10%
I think it's just going to be too late.
Baron Nashor going to go down second or third of the game here. I can't
The
remember
red
the
tier
count.
goes down.
As the inhibitor turns. Oh,
Next starts
no.
falling.
Zedjum gonna try to make stuff here, but just gets immediately deleted. Lights out, just does way too much damage. In color actually gonna secure the
This
kill
Iraq.
with some Redemption Elder Dragon execute. As the final push comes in, this should be the last inhibitor burning. Rumble coming out, gonna go right back into the base. It's just lights out. One shot.
They can't stop him. He
Scallop.
kills way too much and does way too much.
Probably could kill him in the turret.
Oh.
Oh, Zonius to prevent the fountain kill against Will just heal up
Oh,
to
wow.
full the wish.
They're just all full health.
Yeah,
It doesn't matter.
there's so much healing. There are no grievous wounds. We finally see Sakura Wars building an Oblivion Orb, the third item.
Yeah.
And then
At the end of the
Nexus.
game, they still had no grievous wounds.
Nexus falls. And
Very
that
clean
is,
game by izone.
yeah.
Very fun.
Probably could have ended it a little bit quicker, but
They played it really safe, which was alright, but
not the worst thing to come out of a game one. This is the first time these teams are working together in any real instance. So, not too horrible to see them take it slow and steady on their first time around.
Yeah, very clean game though. I liked how izone stick to their win conditions for the most part, and played really clean early game, transitioned into a nice late game, getting the soul and the elder.
I actually do not
Those
remember
have
the
to be-
bans from last game, Ruckshuk. I apologize.
It was like Ola, I don't know, Red Side banned Olaf, I remember.
There'll
There's
be
a
the
Leona
VOD
ban,
will
a
come
Senna
up
ban.
after this
Yeah.
is done. It'll be on the Twitch
You
channel,
know.
so you guys can go and look if you want to see the game one bans. But, just doing some housekeeping stuff. So it's not like we saw some really bad stuff from Sand bans, other than just not trading Baron. I don't think we saw too much that was worrisome. No one was really running it down on the side of Sandbands, so is there anything you'd like to see from Sandbands to like try to at least make game 2 close? Be it draft or otherwise?
I think they drafted too many scaling champs and had a virtually non-existent early game that was exploited by green on their side there. Not by much, but if you don't have any early game, it doesn't really matter what you do. Big Baron saying in chat that he would like to see sandbans on talentless champs. I guess.
Dang, Joel, that's toxic.
So I'd like to see sandbans potentially abuse the fact that it seemed like in the draft Kyler wasn't willing to play Senna and went for the Aphelios instead.
Go Twitch top and cheese kills.
Oh no.
They're gonna have to pull something out because it was extremely clean by them. Not very many mistakes.
No, the slow, easy choke out, definitely the route of passage there. I'd be curious to see what school of thought that Sandban goes to, because in my mind there's two big ones with in terms of just straight playstyle and draft would be if you think the game's going to go long, you think IZF is just going to play for the late game, do you try to go for that outscaling route? Do you try to pick those insane late game champions, something like maybe an Azir, something you have Vayne bot lane, a Jinx we've seen played in PSU LCS before, or do you go the opposite approach, just dump all your eggs in the early game basket and see if you can overcome the early game pressure that the Rek'Sai had on that Green had in game 1 and just make sure the late game never happens?
Well, I like to see a mix, sort of. So for the jungle, the Echo is okay, but you have to understand that you're going to get out jungled, so you need some sort of other early game. You only had like one okay matchup in mid lane, so I'd like to see maybe better solo lane matchups, and if they're going to pick something like the Echo jungle that does get put behind by a strong early game jungler. Or they could answer with something like, if the Aphelios or Senna gets picked again, the Jarvan is extremely good counter to those two because of their immobility. Are we ready for this here?
Yeah, I'm ready.
I'm ready too. Right, we'll be getting into draft, it seems.
Oh, yep, we are getting draft. Whoops. I'm always tabbed out when this. I had to ready check it. All right. Well, getting
we see
back
Rise
into
first
draft
ban.
4 games. Yeah, that's very appropriate for Sandban. Did cause a ton of problems in game 1.
The Riven ban coming again. Zentrov is, I don't want to say one trick, but a Riven player.
A very high skill.
Yes. The Cassia band coming out, very strong laner. Very similar to Rise, the Diana. The Kassadin band, I don't
See, that's always an
really...
interesting one.
Yeah, I don't like the Kassadin band, because at this level, Lights Out and Sakura are both Season 9 Diamond. They should know at this point how to deal with the Kassadin in lane. Because of his early weak early.
His early
Taking
game is
something
still very, very weak, even with the
Yeah.
presence of mind changes that makes him disgusting.
Yeah, picking something like Kiana, Irelia, Zed, Talon to just completely nullify the Kassadin early game is something you can do.
IZF actually going to be the ones banning Soraka this game around, maybe thinking that Sandban is going to pick it up first, but it will be via Aphelios, locked in.
If Lil Brain is open to playing Senna, I would maybe like to see that, but the thing I really want to see is a Rek'Sai, Lee Sin, Olaf, an early game jungler from Green again. The Caitlyn would be a good matchup into Aphelios. But if he picks, if Green picks Jarvan here, that will completely just ruin the Aphelios' day. That's how they've been countering the Aphelios and Senna meta in LCS.
Very true, but it will be instead the support taken very
Nami
early.
pick. Not terrible. Nami is extremely strong. but yeah, it's fine. I would have maybe liked to see a jungler instead, because picking Nami blind can be sometimes risky if they pick something like Thresh or
Nautilus and Leona
Leona.
still unbanned and available, but alright.
that will probably be an Irelia top lane, because I don't think Sakura Wars plays Irelia mid.
I am unsure of that myself. It'll be interesting to see the Kane pick, but it's just
They're just
one
swapping.
of multiple hovers here. I'll say the Leona would definitely be a good lock-in if you're trying to win this lane with the Aphelios, trying to abuse Nami, but we'll pick Morgana.
No, I don't really see the point of picking Morgana yet, because there's not an extremely high priority on it, since there's like 2 CCs. I would have liked to see the Nautilus, perhaps.
And really,
Nautilus is
Nami just has such a good matchup into any enchanter in the bot lane. Morgana, to a degree, included. And it's not like we saw Scallops just hard popping off on the Morgana bot last game.
Might just be a safe comfort pick for them.
I would have to, because Nautilus, Leona, Thresh, any of those engaged champions would work very good into this very poke-style bot lane.
I do like the Kled pick, though. It can be flexed mid lane sometimes against weaker mid laners, but
Also,
top lane it is a good matchup against Irelia.
I'll say also can abuse the living crap out of an Irelia top.
Yeah. I'd like to see the Sandban ban some early game junglers here.
Olaf, checked off the list. Out of here. Be
Yeah,
curious.
the only issue with that is Sandban won't be able to pick many junglers either if they are banning junglers.
Indeed, could be seeing something go, possibly Sandban, ban out some early junglers and pick a later game comfort pick for Toontown.
I don't particularly like the Echo ban here. Toontown didn't have the best performance on it. It could just be countered again by an early game champ. But
Oh,
the set coming in.
The set.
Soraka
oh boy.
top is also banned out, so as is Cassiopeia, two of the best matchups to set in the top lane. Could still be a set jungle as well, is good in certain situations. I'd be very
Yeah.
surprised to see that locked in, but Zach.
All right.
moving on.
Yeah.
Solid.
Whoa!
Okay, whoa.
Hold on here.
Wait, they actually still went with it. Hold up.
This is an Aphelios solo lane.
Interesting.
Yes, you have the damage output and you're going to be getting more XP, but holy crap, are you squishy.
Yeah, I don't particularly like that.
I would say Silas would be a very good pick into this, being able to now as a burst mage just destroy whoever's piloting Aphelios.
Yeah, I'm not too sure about that, but I'd like to see it. Because,
It is,
especially into the Silas there.
should be interesting here. I am very excited to see how Green pilots Set in the jungle against the Zac, because Set's early ganking, pretty mediocre. Pretty rough.
Yeah, his ganking's not good, but Set's dueling power early on is just as strong as
I'd
ever.
say I've,
You can definitely go for invades on a Zac.
yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to see, try and make it so you have to fight for the Scuttle level 3, because the Silas set is much stronger than the Aphelios Zac 2v2 there. But then again, the bot lane of izone will probably prevail again because the Caitlyn Nami is extremely impressive. And currently in the meta, I don't personally think Xayah is very good without Rakan, because she just gets overshadowed by other picks like Varus, Misfortune, and Aphelios.
Indeed, and Xayah, especially when you're looking at something with the likes of a Morgana, not necessarily a champion like Rakan, which can facilitate that engage and the peel that he can provide. I mean, yes, you have Black Shield and you also have Dark Binding, but You don't have anything really getting up in your face with that kind of a combo.
Yeah, so for the win conditions here, I'd like to see Zentrib get ahead, because I know Zentrib is pretty good on Irelia. And if an Irelia gets ahead against this type of team comp, it's going to be pretty good. And then if Silas gets put behind, if Silas gets put behind, it'll be very difficult for him to get back into the game, especially since he doesn't have TP. And that'll be a potential weakness that could be exploited. But I'm not sure how the Aphelios-Silas matchup will go.
Yeah, well, we did say they need to try something special here if they want to make a bigger impact in Game 2.
Maybe this is a pocket pick. Who knows?
I'll say this might be the pocket pick. I can't say
Double
because
ADC though.
I've seen it a lot, and I can tell you as a mid laner, the Aphelios-Zoe matchup is very favored in the Zoe. I do not know about the Silas, but burst mages are burst mages.
I feel like if you're gonna pick an AD carry mid, just pick Lucian. Because, like, Aphelios by himself can be, heavily exploited with his low mobility. And then Lucian also is a triple flex. I'm surprised we haven't seen more of that. Because he can be played top, mid, and bot. And he's extremely strong in all three of those roles.
Lucian as well, though, being one of those, at least in my mind, bit higher skill cap champions to perform in those solo lanes. Really have to know what you're doing. And I'm not sure if anyone on Sandband has that kind of knowledge and know how to pilot it in that situation, which is something you do see a lot out of Pro. Because these are mostly Diamond Platinum players, I believe, on Sandband.
Yeah.
I haven't checked their OPs, so
Yeah, that sounds about
if you're on
right.
Sandband, don't flame me if you're Masters or something.
Zentrib was Master last season.
Zentrib was Master? Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, didn't know PGG got anyone here for this match one, because really, besides the rank, doesn't matter for this. PSU LCS and the coordinated 5v5, such a different atmosphere from solo queue that tendencies, playstyles, even champion pools will change pretty quickly.
Last game I did think Zentrib played really well, even if he had a hard lane matchup against the Karma. But the early game was too strong from izone last game, so they couldn't overcome that. Potentially they could overcome it this game, because Zap can be extremely strong from Josh and I's own experience.
Also, I'm very excited to see the jungle, how the jungle is going to go this time. Because realistically, if Toontown doesn't get too far behind, I really like how he can play the map against Set.
And no really weird runes here. Pretty standard across the board.
Yeah. Nothing. I mean, there is Conquer on Silas. I guess that's what you normally run anyway now, though, with the new.
The only thing that is different is usually take Inspiration second on Silas for the Time Warp Tonic, but I guess he's feeling a little confident today. I would against an Aphelios mid for sure.
I would also, where you land your second E and then just straight one-shot him. Don't need sustain if they're dead.
True. The thing with the new Silas is, I've played him a few times with the Conqueror, and he just becomes unkillable late game. He plays sort of like Kassadin in a way, where his early game is pretty abusable, but late game, since they lowered his W cooldown, it's just, he can't die. Especially since last game, Sandband didn't buy Greenswing.
Yeah, they just decided it wasn't important. Who cares if it's an
Things
Ocean
going-
Drake? Who cares if it's an Ocean Soul, Soraka? Who cares?
Some things from blue side going into the top side of the map here, looking for an invade it seems.
Yep, full 5 men going top,
Welcome
just
to
the
Summoner's Rift.
just the Kled and Set going into Pixel. Might be able to spot out Scallops here, actually, if not more.
30 seconds until the next spawn.
Gallops checks Tribrush. Yeah, they're definitely
Yeah, we
spotted.
did spot
They've
them.
Pretty uncoordinated invade, to be honest. They
Yeah.
just kind of all spread around and started walking everywhere.
Now you
Will be
see.
a good opportunity to get vision.
Yeah, IZF immediately pushing into that south red side, putting down vision, and even top blue side, and putting down vision.
Jeez.
I like the idea. I like the early aggression, but definitely did not pay off this time around.
They all get spotted on the ward there. Bot lane should probably try and make their way back to bot lane soon.
Yep, this is that's a rough start.
Yeah, gonna have a delayed blue start as well for the Zac. Just bad overall.
It just really feels bad. I wouldn't be surprised if green it up and second E lands out of Soccer Wars, and there's half his HP.
Yeah, the only thing about that is Silas started with the Severin. Can sustain some net back up. Or not Silas, Felius.
Actually, a little bit surprised not to see green just immediately rush the enemy red, knowing that his lanes should probably have priority early. But he's just gonna play it normal clear. And we saw last game this bot lane force Sandband just get pretty much dumpstered. There was not much going on there.
Yeah.
And
I've played against low brain in the bot lane before. He's quite proficient. Oh, the Dark Binding.
Good Dark Binding.
Tower, though.
yeah, managed to get good trade damages. Green possibly
Gank
looking
mid
for a
lane.
gank in the mid lane, but Set does not have the kind of engage necessary to pull that one off yet.
Aurelia doesn't have vision top yet though.
Oh yeah, could go up for the gank here. He's looking for it.
Bud did just use the Q though, and his W procs.
Should be good to go here.
Patient.
Yeah, if he goes in for the Q.
Oh, Irelia's gone forward with the Qs. Does not have any more resets. Will land the flawless duet, trying to get away flash, but no, the bear trap pulls her back, and the stun comes in. Haymaker gonna chunk her very low. Zentriv trying to escape. Toucan flashes under. First blood over to Kled.
That will be pretty good as long as the lane gets shoved in. Which it looks like it does. So yeah, the TP will be blown. Sometimes if you play top and you get a kill or a gank like that, your jungler doesn't help you shove in the lane, you can just get frozen on for like 2 to 3 minutes straight. It just ruins your lane.
Boom. Headshot.
Absolutely now.
Yeah,
Next, looking for
exactly.
something
Possible
hot.
gank bot lane, but without the
Never mind.
ADC, there's really no reason to go in. I cut for Jesus not even at the tower yet.
Still level 2 also. Got chunked up pretty hard.
I just hit
20
3
CS
off that
behind.
wave. Set is on a very deep route.
On the
here.
way mid lane here.
Yep. Gonna come out, does have the flash once to go for it, does land a face breaker, but there's no stun, there's no minion on this side. Haymaker doesn't.
They
Ton
could
of
have got that. Silas could have flashed W united there.
Silas didn't have W up, he used it to engage.
I see.
Will land the E though
Oh,
under
he
tower.
lands the E.
Use the Kingslayer
Oh,
healing, but the
W
heal
is the
coming out from
minion.
Soccer Wars. Lights out actually going very low. No flash.
So
at all,
Silas
though.
W the minion there. So,
That's a rough go. Does have to use his last charge of the corrupting pot to heal back up. And Severum almost out of ammo. Zac going in for a gank though, will land on some minions. Ooh, Gravitum will root Soccer Wars fanboy trying to get it up. The Ignite
the Silas,
Kingslayer.
nice.
Really well played by the Silas.
Yeah, lights out. Lights out indeed.
Bot lane again is just getting a huge CS lead already right off the bat at 5 minutes.
That early chunk out definitely hurt Icut. Will in root though, going very low. Heal already popped. That's a 1 kill for Icut.
Oh,
Now
yeah.
trying to find his way in the little brain. Does not have the blade caller available yet. And we'll just have to back off. But good dark binding and good follow up from Icut.
But definitely more action-packed game than the last one.
We have. I gotta say, it's gotta be triple the kills we had in 5 minutes last game. It's gotta be.
Yeah.
Yeah, last
I don't
game
know
they
if
were
we had.
still farming.
I don't know if we had
I mean,
first blood yet last game.
I'm liking it though. I'm liking it. You
Yeah.
gotta be aggressive sometimes.
I'm liking teams getting a little bit more comfortable with what they're trying to do here, who they're up against.
I believe that was the first spring match, so definitely see maybe some people having some nerves.
Yeah, this is the first official match of spring.
Because I know a lot of these people weren't in fall.
Yeah.
I think Sakura Fanboy was the only one on that team that was in fall, off the top of my head.
Was Zentra?
I don't think he was.
I don't think Zentrip was. I'm pretty sure the only other high elo top was what's his face.
Yeah,
Red?
Blue Wave. No, Blue Wave.
Oh.
He was Master. Unfortunately, being Master, he got drafted by the lowest ranked team.
Oh jeez, that feels bad.
No flame.
Plug for our team though. Red's on our team.
Oh, ball is still landing on Jukin. Zentra's gonna try to get away and will pretty easily. Now the bear trap. Vanguard's edge coming out, possibly for a disengage. We'll get the QB sets and get Scarl, but the ward in there should let Tukim finish this one up pretty quick. Doesn't have anything else. Ball is went up, and Tukim able to secure.
Very close duel there.
Very close. But that's what happens when you have two long swords versus a Doran's blade. Quick fight, lights out, trying to go in on Soccer Wars Fanboy now. Going very low, unstoppable. And that's one RKO back to the fountain.
And that's the problem with Aphelios mid. He just doesn't have anything to actually get away.
Something I'm curious about is how Silas ult interacts with Aphelios ult, considering Aphelios ult changes with every gun.
Oh.
I'd be curious if it goes off his current loadout. Or loadout at time of steal.
Graviton.
That's what I would think. But the issue is he can't use any of the reactors.
Oh. The Oracle Ledge gonna possibly save Toontown. That gut instinct.
First dragon taken by red team.
Why did that go off again? My objective timer is not set to default on.
Oh.
Sorry, stream. Anyway, next up is Infernal Drakes, so still have both Cloud Rift and Ocean Rift available for these two squads.
I feel like for Rifts, I always get Cloud Rift much more often than all the other Rifts.
I feel like Ocean Rift is actually the least frequent. For me, at least.
Yeah, I agree. Cloud comes up like in at least like 50% of our games. And it's kind of annoying. But...
Cloud and Mountain, I feel like are the most common. Actually, maybe Infernal.
Yeah, there was a time where I didn't see Mountain for a solid like 10-15 games.
Yeah, Zentra stealing the red buff though, with the lane swap coming in. Looking to maybe get the Herald and put this Irelia even further behind.
3-man top.
Yeah, Tukin's in bot lane. He probably could 1v2 this lane just from how strong Bud is early on and how not strong Zaya is without Rakan.
Yep.
Yeah, that should just be a free first rift going over here to IZF. Now here's what I'm curious about. Soccer Wars currently has Chakram and the Graviton. I'd be curious if what kind of damage and what kind of trading he can get into with Chakram. Cause
Yeah, he needs the Gravitum is, in my opinion, the worst gun. It's very situational. Like
in certain
it doesn't
situations
really do
it's
any
god
damage.
tier, but
Yeah. For laning, you want probably the Calibrum, the range one.
Calibrum,
and the Chakram.
yeah, Chakram for sure, just for trading, because I thought with Chakram and Severum can actually 1v1 a Mordekaiser and Death Realm, so.
Yeah, I was talking about the double lift one.
Double lift one, I've seen it in my solo queue games like 8 times.
Ah, yes.
And it's usually
Aphelios
my team's
getting through.
Mordekaiser who's dying.
So I'll just drop top lane here.
Yeah, that turret should be
Will be
gone.
first turret.
smart here actually from IZF to take some of those plays before popping the Rift Herald, getting that just flat damages. But this storm coming out in the bot lane, heal loss coming out, but the Grievous Wound is doing quite a bit of work as now the Unstoppable should be able to die, but misses the bear trap though. Will get the tower aggro reset, but
He's
back
back
in.
under turret.
Lives,
And,
flashes out and lives.
I feel like I would have accepted my fate there and just died.
Hey, I would probably too, because I'm pretty sure he should be dead, but has played the tower aggro wisely.
Looking at the CS again, jungle and bot ahead of CS. Mid relatively even, and top actually behind the CS for izone.
Yeah, but being behind in CS doesn't matter when you're farming champions.
True. Looking for a play mid here from the Zach. That's a fire thing.
Toontown's just rough day for him so far, not really able to find
I
any
really hope
engages.
this doesn't. I really hope this doesn't devolve into NA RAM. It's looking like it might. They had such good macro like just a minute ago.
I think they're just trying to switch mid to get some of this plating off. Caitlyn should be able to push into the Aphelios fairly well, I'd say. So, possibly looking to get just a few more easy plates off in the mid lane. But yeah, we're already at 12 minutes again. We're looking at another 3.5k gold lead for IZF. And
Really liking how they're playing here. Partially studying them for our future matches against them though.
definitely would be a good idea to go back and look at some of these VODs we have up on Twitch. But one thing I would like to highlight is IZF is up a very good margin to this point in the game. The difference being I question the amount of scaling they have compared to last game, because there is no hypercarry rise.
Yeah, the Silas scales extremely well. And the Caitlyn with the Nami scales well, but the
Good
set
dodge from Soccer
kind of
forward,
falls off.
failing here. It is the current ulti. There's the Moonlight Vigil with a Gravitum ulti.
That
That's
may
well.
be the
No
most
snare,
useless
though.
one, because you can't reactivate it.
He did. Yeah, he couldn't reactivate it, so.
Yeah, it came down, but it
If he
didn't
has,
actually.
if he has Inferno, it would be good. Dude's not gonna miss another engage, gonna immediately bubble, but does get 2 boosts on A-Player. Now the fight really starts. All can be popped by Toontown, trying to get that Silas to stay under the turret, as Infernum does a lot
Fight
of
breaking out
damage.
of the bot lane too.
Yeah. Another storm was
I
used
cut
by
their Jesus
iCut.
being low.
Turret plating will fall.
Pretty sure the red team could just take a dragon
They're-
here. Everyone else on the blue
Yeah.
team's just too low.
That should be resets coming in for Sandman. And should be a free Infernal for IZF.
Something I just want to point out right now is the vision score right now for IZF is 17 to 16 on the jungle and support compared to the 7 and 8 on the jungle support of Sandman. It's quite a sizable difference this early into the game.
Absolutely, and it will be a second Ocean Rift.
Oh wow.
Impressive. That will be extremely volatile for Silas.
Yeah.
They need Grievous wins as much as
Someone,
last game.
someone needs Grievous Wounds. I'm not sure who
Please,
yet, but
no
someone's gonna
Grievous
have to
Wounds.
buy Grievous Wounds.
I mean, they have 3 people this time that can utilize just an executioner's calling 800 gold.
Yeah,
Much more
viable.
efficient, I guess, than a Morello's.
Earl just feels way too bad to build. For some reason, I feel like either Scallops and iCut should just switch lanes here, or they should be pressuring this Kled a little harder.
Yeah, the issue with picking the Aphelios mid too is usually you want to have your AD carry in the center part of the map because it tends to be safer because it's a shorter lane. But if you have an AD carry mid who's not like a Corki or a Lucian, they can just get caught out in the side lane really easily. And can't get as much goal out of space as someone like a Rise maybe could.
Also, one thing we can point out here is talking back to your vision score point. So you can see all of those red control wards all through the river. That's 4 of them. between Dragon and
all
Gromp.
sitting on controllers.
And there's a fifth one up in Brushins, the southwest jungle coordinate. I can count not one, but two.
Wow.
Two singular wards placed. Both bot lane, one just expired, and there's a far side ultimation, I believe. Very bit now.
Doing it well.
All the sweat does land as he is able to get the kill on a little break. Dead here. Zentriv's gonna get the kill as Toontown finally lands his engage. Green though might be looking for something else. The teleport coming in. That should be 2 coming. Zentriv going to be in some trouble here. Trying to get the claws away. Will get the stun on a 2-Kim. Does have the tower rag to reset and will flash away. But now Silence join the jinx. Lights out for Zentriv. Moonlight Vigil gonna try to do something. As Soccer was actually able to claim a kill. Make it 2.
Aphelios
Nami also going down. The balanced team is writhing.
And the Infernum landing with the AoE.
Yeah.
They could potentially look for Aphelios here, because Kled is close to his remount.
If he walks
Austin
up.
looking.
Wait,
Green
he
Austin
walked-
still here.
The turret
We'll
is
find him. Goes
Out of
in.
the
Chakram,
didn't
baby.
know it. Oh, that's so sad.
If it was any other gun but Chakram, I think he might have had a chance. Chakram's a
Well
bit of a
said
rough
there.
go. Ooh, good dark fighting. This might be able to get a kill.
Caught
Blade
up.
Caller comes through and I cut for Jesus. Clean kill their scalps with the dark binding to make it happen. And now we're Sandban. They're back.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a good play by them. I'm impressed at how Zentriv was able to land all those flawless duets there. When I play Irelia, it feels like I could never land them. It's probably just because I'm not good, but
I feel that in my soul.
yeah, very strong play there.
Other than
liked
that,
how
though,
they-
Aphelios just grabbed 3 kills that fight.
Yeah,
And thus, the mid lane Aphelios somehow still pays off.
Yeah, so now he's back.
God.
lights out, missing the cannon minion. Unlucky.
Feels bad, man.
Jeez. Really gonna call him out like that, huh?
And now we finally do have that ADC going mid lane. Lights out, looks for a pick, finds the max range on a Soccer Ward. Might be able to get the solo kill here. Has a Moonlight Vigil, but will not land it. Toontown able to come and save the day. Will pop the ulti, but
Yes,
doesn't
flash
have the
up
knockup.
very soon.
Grabs it. Soccer Wars going to be insta-killed. Kingslayer doing a lot of damage now. Incoming, just coming in for the moral support. Toontown will fall now. Double kill.
This is what I was talking about with the Stylus tower after a certain point.
That healing was actually really absurd.
I personally didn't like the Stylus changes, but they definitely make them a little stronger.
Oh. Heavy asterisk around little.
Yeah.
As the Kingslayer, not even his main ability, basically does all of Aphelios' health bar.
Free Rift Herald for the red side.
Yeah, the objectives just have not been in Sand fans' favor here this evening.
Something that I've been noticing that is potentially playing a little to Sandban's detriment is how the Scallops has been very stationary. Been staying with the AD carry pretty much the whole time, while InColor's been moving around and getting vision and roaming with Green.
Possibly looking to contest this break here. Finds the Runa lights out, but I'm not sure that's the person going to go into. Will not land the E. Does get the Vanguard's edge. Isn't
He
going
does
to
have
take
the
it yet.
flash.
Soccer Wars fanboy going to try to burst it out, but lights out still very healthy. Moonlight Vigil going nowhere fast, and now it's Tukim going for the engage. Toontown taking a lot of damage, and now it's back on to Soccer Wars. Will kite out with the Severum and the Q, and Dark. Nice come out Green. Haymaker, baby! He's gonna get eye cut for Jesus and the Morgana. Soccer Wars able to escape through the backside as well as Toontown, but that's just the power right now of this IZF lineup. So much damage so fast. Ball is quick going to land though. This will be a kill on to Tukim. Draco safely in the hands of the red side.
Yeah, good plays all around. Well, mostly all around, but the Aphelios ult did actually land onto Little Brain there. It actually, I think, prevented some of them from dying because it rooted him. But Yeah, the Dragon secured Soul Point again.
Yeah,
Still
much
early,
faster
though.
pace this game though.
Yeah. The Silas approaching, actually kind of strange, not completing the Proto Belt first.
Instead, yeah, go
Going,
to that
Yeah, I've done that before. It just feels like he has a little less power because he has lower health. Yeah, this is what I was saying earlier about how it's dangerous to send the Aphelios to a side lane, so the ADCs have to maybe share a little bit of gold
Not
in the
something
mid
you
lane
want
and XP.
two very hungry crit marksman hyper carries either. We'll compliment Sandband on one thing though, keeping this game at a much more manageable pace. Still 3.5k gold, 3.3k gold behind here at 20 minutes, which is heads and shoulders above where they were at last game. As Engage coming in top side, 2Kim going to very easily just kite away from that. As now it is IZF looking for the collapse top side. Kled ulti going to be popped. Soccer
Charge
Awards is pretty much dead to rights here as the Cowboy comes in charge again. The Zodiac fly a little bit of time, but that is a dead Aphelios. Inverted ulti still doing a fair amount of chunk damage. So
Yeah, just still kind of huge.
Riptail is going to be Riptail pop top lane, securing the tier 2 turret. They're actually a bit more off this.
Kled losing his mount though. That's something to keep track of.
Scalped with the little dark binding there. Will, yep, gets the second charge off. Does not kill the turret outright, but chunks it very low. As IZF is actually looking for this dismounted 2Kim. Lights out, finds Toontown again though. Featherstroke going to be popped. Zentrip trying to kite him out. Toontown also going to take a Caitlyn ulti. Will not go down there, so good job at disengaging that fight. Even so, gold lead extends now to your 5k markish. A little bit less, 4 point something. Zentrip, oh no. Thought he had the flawless duet in the bush.
Something that I've just been noticing here about IZF is how they don't seem as willing to play side lanes as other teams in the same position might be. Because they have two extremely strong soul laners that are both stronger than their counterparts. So in their position, actually, I would be looking to 1-3-1 like the whole time. But they keep grouping it, seeming to work for them now.
Right now, the strategy seems to be for IZF, in my observations, just stay closer together, so if anyone gets cut off, we can just collapse. It's kind of like what you may have seen against a, like if they're just a lesser version of what old IG was back in 2018. Like, they fight and then everyone immediately is on top of you, whether it be with teleports or otherwise, as 2Kim is kind of in some trouble here. Will get ulted by Zentrip, but has a being needed to count a color. Dodge away from dark binding and nothing really happens. But yeah, it's the mentality of we're not gonna let you back into the game because if you ever try to pick someone off, we're just gonna immediately collapse and kill you.
Yeah.
Which isn't necessarily the best strategy or the most gold efficient or anything, but right now it's working. Scalps is pretty gone. Lights out though, also getting pretty low from Soccer Wars. Able to land a lot of that Severum Q. Re-engage must come in, but the flash over from Lights Out will dodge away from everything. Zentrip not even able to find. Now the re-engage to Kim. Zentrip flashes the wall for now, but should be collapsed on by the rest of the members.
Lights Out going down.
Moonlight's a little missing, but Soccer Wars fanboy finds it. Will get it with the red buff burn. In color now, hit up by Toontown. I come for Jesus, popping the Featherstroke should be immediately called for play but doesn't find anything. In color going low, but will go down in the end. As well as Zag. Now it's all on Zentrip. 3v1 as he gets suplexing with Caitlyn firing up on him. And it was all left to the Aphelios. As Ocean Drake, number 4, spawns. And Ocean Soul once again shall bless the boons of... Shall boon, I should say.
Alright, so back to the Grievous wounds conversation. Still no Grievous wounds.
Yeah, it's about this time that they're gonna have to start getting the executioners. They have
Yeah.
to. Else it's just gonna be like last game.
Yeah, even IZF has Grievous wounds. With the,
Kled has an executioner's calling on top of his bear trap. Outstanding.
And
Yeah,
Bramble
and-
Vest on the set.
Yeah.
And
Just and probably look for a Baron play here. They are really, really strong. You saw that Silas damage.
Oh my goodness,
Completely
so
deleting the
stupid.
Morgana.
And then you have Set and Kled for frontline. Too much right now for this Sand Gang team to handle, really. Gold Lead's still not as bad as it was last game. It's still not as bad at this
Yeah,
point.
they're doing better this game.
It's better. Which surprised me with how poorly the start was for the Irelia and the Aphelios.
Because Aurelia is still farming pretty well for what it is, but
Yeah.
I mean, the one thing you put out,
Ironically,
look at the vision.
I'd like to see her in the bot lane. Just pushing that out. Because she has TP.
The story of this series, though, is I believe you pointed out several times, Dale. Just look at the vision scores.
Yeah.
It's not even remotely close. There is no setup, no vision on the Baron, but they will contest. Kled is still mid, has ulti, will use the
Vanguard
engage.
does mention.
Down the ulti gonna be interrupted. Yes, Moonlight Vigil comes out as the Inferno, but just doesn't do enough damage. And now read it in the backline. Haymakers chunking Scallop. The Ocean Soul doing so much they just can't kill him. Blade Color finally able to secure one in the end. Oh, 1 for 2. Most importantly, though, the jungler is down, but Scallops to fall over to the Caitlyn. Triple kill. Going for the quadra kill.
Potential pentakill, maybe.
Zaya is back in base. I cut for Jesus going to try to contest this, but if he sets up, I hope the little brain can get a
I would
pentakill in
go
the
for it.
first series of the spring.
of course you go for it.
Inkiller trying to find some damage here. Lights Out also coming into the regate. He has to be really careful. He just doesn't kill him outright. No, the Kled steals it.
I would, a little disappointed there. If I were Lilbrain. Oh, but the engage coming from Zach.
Yep, gonna try to make something happen here. The base falls down low as Inkiller will be slain by Toontown. He's actually fairly tanky at this point in the game. Scallop also landing Dark Binding on his left. Zentrip though just chunked. Caitlyn does so much damage. And no one takes it because of that Ocean Soul. We
They're
do
all
have
popped up
Grievous
back to
wounds
full
though.
health.
Aphelios has respawned with Grievous wounds.
Oh, man.
The execution is calling his purchase. Now the re-engage trying to find a light down. Flawless Wet does land, but he lands his own. As now we have the fight bursting out. Zentrip very low, just cannot kill Lights Out. The healing is too much. Second E will miss. As Flawless Wet lands again, will throw out the Vanguard's edge, but Lights Out secures the kill. And Caitlyn also secures another and another. But Lights Out manages to fall somehow under all of that particle effects. And the game continues.
Seems like 9k gold deficit. It'd have to take a miracle at this point for Sandvan to come back into this, though.
Yeah. Realistically, I think they could win the 3v5 here with Caitlyn Nami set, so.
Blue team's turret has
Again, they just have to maybe get the Elder and then game's wide open.
Get the Elder and
banking on that one
somehow
again,
kill
huh?
someone.
Yeah. It's worked before in like a couple
Yeah,
of games
yeah.
I've played.
I mean, you do have the option as IZF to kind of sit a little bit further back this game. You do have a ton of scaling options available with Zaya, with Aphelios, with Zac that you can really start to beef up. It's just how much does IZF want to push this lead they've accrued?
Yeah, I mean, realistically, they could just take the Baron here and they should just end through bot, right?
I am happy to inform that Grievous Wins has been purchased.
Yep, Aphelios is finally pretty.
Yeah, he got it.
Dookie will be engaged on the Zac ultimate coming out of Zentrip and Scallops coming behind. Probably as a flash burn for Dookie. No, will this scuttle his way on over as the Dark Binding misses and the wave connects. And now it's a Kled ulti trying to find something We'll find Scallop in the back.
Jesus.
Left for dead.
Little Brain takes
Little-
the kill.
Still needs over to Little Brain. Engage coming in. Shoot shot, trying to find something. He doesn't have ulti. He doesn't have any more engage this. As the ulti comes out, that's a lot of damage. Base Breaker finds the Xayah. Little Brain finds the Irelia. And it is just Sakura Wars left on the Rift. IZF actually did manage to get out of that with the flash, so Haymaker did not secure the kill. In color is
Color
left the game.
disconnected. He doesn't.
As it's just Sakura Wars.
Doesn't gotta be here, I guess.
Icon for the win. We'll find it with the Moonlight sigil as Xayah also falls. In-Color joins us for the final falling of the Nexus, and that will be the start of 2020 with a 2-0. Some fountain diving for the KDA pads, except Little Brain still dies. In 2020, starting off with a bang for IZF. 2-0. Clean.
Yeah, very solid game again from IZF. Sandman did do a lot better this time, though. With the unique Aphelios mid pick. Working out a fair amount.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't bad actually. It started coming back. But early on, it just let a lot of pressure go through, so.
Indubitably. No, but, I mean, IZF
Maybe look for
clean.
an interview here, potentially.
Sure. Now, controversial statement. I have
Alright.
for you lads. IZF looks cleaner than Poke Squad did week 1 last season.
Let's see.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
All right.
You haven't seen our team play, though. Hey.
No, we're bad.
My
No,
boys,
they
you
were
ain't
pretty good
seen
there.
nothing.
Yeah, I don't know. IZF definitely looks pretty solid as a team.
I'll say they closed out very well. There weren't a ton of mistakes in terms of objective scares. There's no Baron throws, no Elder throws, no Dragon throws.
Yeah. I did think they were going to be one of the stronger teams, and they're just proving it right there against what I'd say is also an above average team on paper in Sandton. Not toxic, they're good.
Yeah.
Yeah, plenty of games left
Get
to
on
come.
in here if you want to.
Yeah, anyone wants to interview.
Yeah, come
Post
on
up
in.
in chat. We can
Get the whole team in here if you want to.
Oh,
back to the
Lord.
full team interviews, Pog. I sit here and try to figure out what to ask people for 10 minutes, and it's all the same question.
Bobby wants an interview. You weren't even in this game.
Guest analyst.
Of course.
Yo, what's up, guys?
Welcome.
Welcome.
What a game, honestly. We have a few questions for you, though. I wrote one down, so.
Oh,
Yeah, lights out.
What,
Oh,
what were
boy.
you thinking as soon as they picked the Aphelios mid lane?
I was thinking they're copying me because I've tried that 5 times already and it's been bad every single time. I wish it was good because it's fun, but no, it's not good enough.
Yeah, honestly, performed better than I expected, especially against the Silas there.
Yeah, I was... Wait, what you mean?
No, I.
It was more like a mid-game thing. No. The
Yeah,
Silas
like,
did
you
really
got
well
the-
against me early.
He like cleaned up the fight bot lane.
What you mean?
I was kind of tired, so I was...
Did pretty well for being tired there, I'd say.
It was a fun game though.
Yeah. Any other questions? I sort of have one about like macro.
Yeah, go right ahead.
So you guys, both games, it looked like you had a pretty strong 1-3-1, but it seemed like you sort of avoided that. Was that like an active thought process, or were you just NA-RAM?
First game, we have Karma. I could have split, but I'm not 100% if Jax is stronger than me, so I think we just win 100% through group anyway, for our first game at least. Second game, could have done that too. We do have a stronger split, but we want to have more fun with the team fights, try to force some
Yes,
fights.
true.
Ah, yes.
For fun. Gotta get those highlights.
Yeah.
Gotta get
You're gonna get them too, since Kyler is on your team, and maybe a little nepotism there.
gotta get Kyler some work to do.
Any other questions, boys?
I know it's only been one day, so there's not really too much of a knowledge base to go off of in one game played, but just from potential scrim results, anything you have seen, now that you've defeated Sandband, is there any other teams you're really looking forward to or really not looking forward to playing in the coming weeks?
Is Billy D in this tournament?
Yeah.
Him.
Him specifically,
My
not his team,
team's
just
playing
him.
this week.
Just him. I've got
Just
Snake
Billy
and
D,
Snake
the
as well.
1v1.
Yeah, just Billy D.
Yeah,
Also,
my
if you
team's
do
gonna
not-
be playing him.
Spend 5 bands on me, you're disrespecting me.
So we gotta beat Billy D.
Yeah. Their team is looking pretty strong there.
I'm coming for you,
God,
Billy.
2014 stronger though, truly. I think.
Shut up, Vale.
I don't know what you're talking about. For fun movement all the way.
Yeah, just pick 5 tanks. You'll win. Trust.
Easy. Orange, Cho'Gath, Scion,
Orange Shogat, Zach.
Zach, yeah.
I don't know, Malphite, PSU LCS Malphite,
Yes.
of course.
I feel so bad for doing stats last season for that because they were wrong as heck. Malphite had like a 30% win rate in PSU LCS.
Yeah, unfortunate. But, yeah, good job on the win there.
Yep, very.
Very clean games.
IZone
Solid.
represent. Gang gang.
We hope to see you in future matches, I guess.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep. Thanks for having me, boys.
Yeah, very, very happy to. All right. Well, that about does it here for everything we have tonight. I don't think there's any other games being played later, but be sure everyone tune back in tomorrow, February 6th at 9 p.m.
Hey, any mommers in the chat? Okay.
Oh,
Whoa.
Jesus
Jesus.
Christ, Bobby. My poor ears.
Anywho, be sure to tune in tomorrow night at 9 p.m. It's Awoken Horrors versus Akatsuki. Two more teams facing off, starting to get a gauge here for who's to beat in PSU LCS this spring. We'll be sure to keep bringing you guys more matches as they come in. Any team captains watching the stream right now, please, for the love of God, tell us when you're playing so we can stream. I have no life, so I'll be able to stream it. So
I can actually add that right now.
go right ahead, put it onto our caster schedule page if you can.
Are we
Yeah.
just default time? I don't even know.
No, we're gonna look at a Saturday at 7, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wait, who just put in something? Oh, also on Friday, February 7th at 11 p.m. This was like just added to the sheet, I guess. Or I didn't notice it. IDK is facing Yeehaw Brother. I've not heard of either
Hype
of
for
those
that one.
teams, so lots of games coming up here within the next 2 days. I'm assuming there's at least like 4 or 5 more than that, just based on the number of teams we have. So yeah, be sure to keep up. We'll try to keep the announcements coming into the chat for future game times. Any other final words, guys?
Not really. Good games
Nope.
for both sides.
Other than that, just good luck, everyone, in PSU
Yeah,
LCS.
have fun.
Good luck. All right. I've been Infamous Trash.
I've been Vale.
Me, Bobby 4.
This has been the start of a hopefully long and joyous PSU LCS spring split. And we'll catch you guys tomorrow night on the Rift.